Hello and welcome to the Writer's Cabin. This is Ask the Writer. And today's question is, should I begin with flowery description? Now, I'm a big fan of description. I've been literally teaching description writing for 20 years in college classes. So I'm a big fan of description. However, the real question here is, should I begin with flowery description writing in my thriller novel? Now, I would say, let me just say this. Like I said, I've been teaching this for 20 years, description writing. I'm a big fan of it, but I'm not here to tell you yes or no, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. Many writing instructors, it seems like almost all of them, take this dogmatic approach that do this, do that, don't do that, do this, don't do that. And these are the rules. I wouldn't do that because it just doesn't really make sense. The real question is, does it work in this story, in this introduction? If I were to give a general rule, I would say it depends on what you're trying to accomplish in that scene. Why? The real question isn't, should I begin with flowery language? The real question is, what am I trying to accomplish in this scene? What is the dominant impression and why? If I need to know why I'm doing something before I know, and therefore there really is no absolute yes or no. It's going to, in my opinion, it's going to depend on the scene you're writing. However, generally though, I would say be careful with it, especially the fact that the question was, should I begin with flowery description? That seems like overdoing it. So we want to be careful with that. Let's be careful about writing poetry, or like we're writing a romance novel or something, unless there's some specific reason for doing that. If you're writing an action novel, you're not going to want to waste a lot of time before you get into some action and suspense. I wouldn't say that there's anything wrong with beginning with description. I think that could be appropriate, but I probably wouldn't get too flowery about it. I would just make it good description and probably brief. Get into the story pretty quickly, like maybe within a few sentences. Again, these are just general rule of thumbs. It's all going to depend on the scene you're writing. So there you go. Those are just some quick thoughts on, should I begin with a flowery description. Be aware of the tone that you're taking, and is this really the tone that you want to take? Does this really set up the kind of scene that you're writing? And am I overdoing it? Or just some things to and another question to ask yourself is this what I would want to read in an action novel? Is this what I would want to read? Would I want to read this sort of an opening in an action thriller novel? So there you go. Those are just some thoughts on the question. Should I begin with flowery description? Thanks for watching, and good afternoon from the Writer's Cabin. Write with passion.